Hey, thanks for joining me today. Tom DeWinter with Archer Capital. I'm joined today by my good friend, Robin Zimmerman. Today, we're going to be talking about taking your beer brewing hobby to the next level and starting your own business and doing what you love. So, if you're interested on the steps that you need to take your hobby and turn it into a business, we'll give you that information coming up next. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm here with my good friend, Robin Zimmerman. Here to talk to you about taking your beer brewing hobby to the next level. Robin, you've been in financing for a long time and you've been an avid beer guy, enthusiast. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and maybe tell us a little bit about you?
Okay. Well, Robin Zimmerman. I've been in the equipment financing business about 15 years. The most recent 10 been here at Archer Capital. I've been here in the Denver area for about 30 years. I got here about this time that the craft beer industry was really growing, and it's been a lot of fun, and really got into that industry and do as much as I can to support it.
Do you go to the Great American Beer Fest every year, or you've been there multiple times, right?
Oh, yeah, I've been there 10, 12, 15 times. I don't go every year. It's just partly because of the expense.
10, 12 times, I think, is nearly every year.
A lot. Okay.
All right. If you were to give somebody advice, jumping from a beer hobbyist, brewing their own beer, to becoming a brewer, a company, what would you say is the first step that they should take?
I think one of the first things to consider is the permit process. Whatever permits are required in your local municipality can be a lengthy process, can take quite a long time to get it done. So look into that first. And of course, after that, you want to look into the equipment. You want to look into a location and start experimenting with how you would up your recipes from a small home brewer size to a more commercial size.
I think what's important also, from a financing perspective, filing a business early costs you $50 maybe in your state, but that's a big thing, is your length and time in business to establishing commercial credit and getting financing. The longer you've been in business and have your business filed, the better for you for the financing side. Now, do you recommend somebody, bottling, going out and buying canning and bottling equipment and bottling their own brand, or would you say like the best path forward if they're going from hobbyist to business would be open up a pub? What do you call them? Beer garden?
Yeah, a beer garden or a brew pub.
Yeah.
I think the brew pub would be the better way to start off. It would be a kind of a smaller scale. You develop your recipes, you develop a clientele. There's a little less cost involved in that rather than doing canning or bottling. And then once you develop a clientele, develop the recipes the way you know what you want them to be, if you want to, then you can start thinking about bottling or canning your product.
Do you think a person needs bartending experience or restaurant experience to start a brew pub?
Not necessarily. I don't really think that's necessary. It is important, though, to think about the business side of things, getting your business registered, for instance. Start thinking about how you're going to do, bookkeeping if you need a bookkeeper. So make sure you keep an eye on developing your business part as well as the brewing part.
Is one of them more difficult than the other, right? Do you think if they start with a beer pub, sure, they'll get sales and stuff, but wouldn't it be easier to get into bottling and just canning? I mean, you need a few $1,000s worth of machinery, right? And just pop out your brand. You think starting a beer pub would be more difficult on that side?
I do, because I think you have to establish your product, establish your name, and get to be known in your neighborhood before you can venture out to grocery stores, liquor stores, restaurants to distribute your product. If no one knows who you are, then it's much more difficult, I think, to get your product on shelves.
That's a good point. When somebody has a label, they have their own product, who do they call? I mean, how do you get from a 6-pack right here and put it into a store?
That can be a difficult process, again, depending on the municipality and liquor laws and such. It might be necessary to get a dedicated salesperson, preferably somebody with some experience and some contacts in your neighborhood, in your area, that can go door to door to grocery stores, restaurants, liquor stores, and promote your product that way.
All right. But it's great brewing advice, great advice on starting up your own place. How can you help them with the finance process and get them other people's money? What can you do for them on that side of the business?
Well, we can offer you quite a bit, even for started businesses. We have as much available to you as $150,000 to get started. It's a quick, easy process. It doesn't take months and months like some other loans or SBAs or something like that might be. Pretty quick, easy process. Start off with just a simple one-page application, some information about the equipment you want, and we can take it from there.
All right. Hey, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you're interested in taking up the financing process or you have other questions, Robin's information, you'll see it right there on the screen below his name right there. You can contact him. He's more than helpful and more than willing to help you through the process and get you the financing that you need to start up a business. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking and subscribing. Hit the bell icon down below, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.